Hello, vlog space. So today there was a couple topics, like I had them mapped out, or I thought about them a little bit, and then now I forgot some of them. Oh, okay, so I wanted to talk about pattern recognition today. They're like waxing the roof. So our vlog space is going to be disrupted today, but it's okay. It'll go back to normal. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know when. Okay, but here's the thing about pattern recognition that's really interesting. Like, how can you recognize a pattern that you've never seen before, right? And so this comes up for me because earlier in the week I saw a post that was like, I can't believe some people think this is real life. And I was confused because, like, if you see something every day, even if it's like bad or maybe it represents like a small world view, if you see it every day, it's your real life. Like, that's real to you. Like, just because it's not real to someone else, that doesn't mean it's not real to you, because like it is. And it's like weird that that's like hard to understand. That's weird to me. And the other thing is I feel like we're all like, I've heard some people like in the AI machine learning community talk about like kind of like common sense, and how like that's not really a thing. There is no such thing as common sense. And like how intelligence is it's important to be specific about what type of intelligence you're talking about. But I've only heard it go so far as to say like intelligence in relation to like different mammal types. So like, you know, maybe like dogs versus cats versus mice versus humans or something like that, right? But what about even like intelligence among different groups of people? Because like there's this Obama quote that I read, I think it was like 2 weeks ago now. It was talking about this like multiculturalism in America, and how America is like a melting pot, but it's really an experiment in terms of like the human species to see if we can like all live together. And I said this before, but I'll like say it again. Like, it has not gone so well so far. Like, in our history of this country so far, it just hasn't really been going very well. And especially when we're talking about like intelligence and common sense. There's so much that I feel like I understand about like the Black community in general, and I feel like there's so many like cultural norms and things that I realize have been passed down to me through my family, and it's really about like, it's like trauma induced survival tactics that stem from like slavery, which is awful, because like when you think about how much those things might benefit you today, they actually might not benefit you much at all. But that's still not, like, they did benefit some people in my family in the past. And like, the country has changed, but if you're thinking about like a 60 or 65-year-old person who grew up here, you know, like they man, it's just like, when I really think about like the opportunities that, like, for instance, like my mom had growing up in like the south side of Chicago, with like there's no academic person in my family. Like, I am the only, and I'm like a pseudo academic, right? But like, to think about the exposure that like my mom had, it was like, she's not like Michelle Obama or like, you know, or even Barack, right? They both grew up there, but it's different because like, when you like, I listened to some of Barack's book, his audio on audiobook, his recent book, and it was just like, his mom was like a super academic and she was like a feminist. It was just like the types of exposure, you know, that he had, and he picked up like a love for books early, and just a ton of stuff. Like, he transferred schools, right? He was like living on the West Coast and the East Coast, had a college experience. It's like all of those things. Like, when I think about even my own mom, or really people in my family, they didn't have access to that at all. It's so different. It's so different. And so then there's this idea that like people are like good and that they're bad, And I really think it's more like we're socialized and people are just trying to like pick out patterns, like especially like small-minded people are trying to pick out patterns that they just don't understand. You know, I think that's why it's so easy to have certain things like the school to prison pipeline, because like when you really think about how few Black American hood kids make it out of like the hood in any sense of the word, like there's basically none, virtually none, right? And like if you've never seen anyone make it out ever, you might really think it's not possible for you. Like it just doesn't seem like it's real. Like I could never do that. That's never happened to anyone I know. That's not real. You know what I mean? Like, and like people act accordingly, and then people might treat you accordingly. Like if someone thinks you're like a hood kid, then they just start like talking to you like you're a hood kid. They start like delivering information that they believe is appropriate for you because of what they identify with a hood kid, a Black kid, a girl. It's like for instance, this is a good example. A few years ago, remember when like that Black girl went to like a pool party, and she was like a teenager, right? She had her swimsuit on, and they were like, all these kids are at like a pool party. And then the cops came and they totally did like a whole body flip on this like teenage girl, and the whole grown-ass man had his like knee on her neck. And just the way that I saw like Black parents responding to that, and it was like so traumatic. Like the fact that like something like that actually flies in this country, that was like not that long ago. That was like 2 years ago. Like those are the white people that we have. This is like, those are the adults. Those are like the dads. Those are the mentors. Those are the like professional workers. Like those people have jobs. Those people are respected in their community. It wasn't like other white people were like, oh no. Like some, there were like, I don't know, a few that were like, oh, this is awful. But like for the majority of people, they were just like, this is fine. This is totally normal. Let's all just move about in our lives and continue having our opportunities and like fuck those Black kids. And it's just like nuts. Like that's the pattern that we're conditioned to like this is totally